I'm going to be talking about CRL's new digital resources and digitization plans, which include expanding the World Newspaper Archive, partnerships with the Law Library's Microform Consortium, TRAIL, and the British Library Ethos program, and other digital resources for international studies. My name is James Simon. I'm the Director of International Resources at the Center for Research Libraries. CRL is expanding electronic access to critical source materials, particularly in the areas of news, archives, journals, and dissertations and theses for the CRL community. We continue to scan content in response to scholars' requests. As of April 2010, the total counts of digital objects hosted on CRL's digital document server are 12,300 titles, or nearly 2.4 million pages. We average about 700,000 pages per year of digitization in-house, and you may add to that almost 2.5 million pages projected in the next fiscal year for such programs as the World Newspaper Archive or the American Periodical Series from the Center for Research Libraries. CRL is bridging its traditional collecting activities with digital access to its collections. This is a primary objective of CRL in its ongoing strategic development. In order to take this on, we are engaging in strategic partnerships, leveraging the strengths and capacity of organizations where they already exist, and working with our members to ensure the greatest possible benefits accrue to each of them. For the next several minutes, I will describe some of the new digitization plans and partnerships that will expand access to collections for the CRL community. First, I would like to discuss the area studies and global resources projects and recent proposals approved for digitization. Like other aspects of the center, the area microform projects are moving towards digital conversion and hosting of digital resources, and several programs have been recently approved that will be made available online in the coming months. One example is the Ukrainian Emigre Press, which is a program that was supported by the Slavic and East European Microform Project. This proposal was submitted by the University of Toronto and features a partnership with Harvard University, Columbia, and others in aggregating periodical titles published by various Ukrainian political, social, religious, or student groups that were based primarily in refugee camps and emigres living in some of the larger West European cities such as London or Paris, from the years 1945 to 1955. Another example of a project is a proposal approved by the Cooperative Africana Microform Project, or CAMP, to support the digitization of the papers of the Liberian President William V.S. Tubman. Approximately 30,000 documents of Tubman's personal papers were retrieved from the library of his unoccupied mansion in Liberia and preserved in a 16-month grant project awarded by the British Library Endangered Archives program. These materials demonstrate the nearly complete integration between Tubman's personal and political lives during his presidency from 1944 until his death in 1971. The bulk of this collection clusters around 1944 to 1950, as well as the end of his administration. This is a partnership with Indiana University's Liberian Collections Project and has also been supported by the Title VI National Resource Centers for African Studies. Another example of a recent program is the South Asia Microform's Dastan-i Amir Hamza. This epic collection of folk tales is the most comprehensive collection of this story, which surrounds the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad, originating around the 11th century and made popular through oral tellings in the 15th century. This collection has been recently digitized by SAMP and is available in electronic form to all CRL members. A collection has also been deposited in Pakistan, making it the first complete collection of this material available in the country, in that country. One final note would be the Linguistic Survey of India, a project of the Digital South Asia Library, or DSAL. The Linguistic Survey features 262 rare recordings that were digitized from gramophone records supplied by the British Library's sound archives. These records, made between 1913 and 1929, concern the variety of languages and dialects spoken throughout the subcontinent. And these will be made available streaming across the internet through the Digital South Asia Library site. Another program I would like to discuss is the World Newspaper Archive. As you know, CRL has partnered with Redex, a division of Newsbank, to make accessible in electronic form newspapers from developing world regions and areas of specialties from CRL's collections, as well as the collections of CRL's member libraries. So far, we have embarked upon the first major module, Latin American newspapers, and we have to date about 1.1 million pages online out of a targeted 1.3 million. We've also begun production on African newspapers, and we aim to make accessible around 400,000 pages. Currently, we have about 200,000 pages online, featuring 25 titles out of a projected 40 titles at the completion of this module. A third module is under production for South Asian newspapers, and this content will be made available within the next few months. This slide shows a screen capture of the title browsing interface for the World Newspaper Archive African newspapers. As you can see, titles can be organized and sorted by country, by title, by start date, and other features as well. These materials are text searchable, and you can browse to a variety of issues or search directly on the text within the articles. This slide shows O Africano, a newspaper from Maputo, Mozambique, which has been scanned for the period 1908 to 1920. This newspaper championed the cause of indigenous rights in Mozambique and is an important title for the early 20th century. I would like to acknowledge the charter participants of the World Newspaper Archive module for Africa and South Asia. These 36 institutions provided upfront funding to support the digitization of both African and South Asian modules. Future world regions are in the works for the World Newspaper Archive, which will include newspapers from Slavic and Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and other countries. We are also looking at augmenting the original modules, including more titles for Latin America. A third area I would like to discuss is the Law Library Microform Consortium, otherwise known as LLMC. CRL and LLMC have begun to work together to preserve and provide digital access to important U.S. and international legal and government publications. Our two organizations are both major North American-based consortia that together represent over 400 research, public, and academic libraries. The two organizations share a commitment to ensuring the survival of primary source documentation for advanced research. So it makes sense for us to look at ways of collaborating in this area. By way of background, the Law Library Microform Consortium is a consortium of 250 North American law libraries that digitizes and preserves important U.S. and foreign legal materials, including statutes, government documents, treaties, and other types of published materials. These materials are then made available to member institutions electronically through LLMC Digital. The LLMC Digital Collection includes over 20 million pages of published legal materials from the U.S., Canada, and other regions of the world. Together with the Legal Information Preservation Alliance, LLMC also archives original print copies of digitized publications. CRL is working with the LLMC to identify and digitize both collections and materials from CRL and other important repositories that support and augment CRL's areas of collecting focus. Legislative journals and foreign official gazettes are key areas of CRL holdings. The Law Library Microform Consortium and the Library of Congress have recently entered an agreement to digitize select published materials from LC's collections at an expected rate of about 1,000 titles per month. The digital material that is prioritized by the Center will become available to the CRL libraries through the LLMC digital interface. We've identified fields of interest for CRL libraries, which include Latin American content, Native American and colonial government and law, and human rights materials. This is a screenshot from LLMC's digital interface, featuring one of the publications from the Comprehensive Laws from the Cherokee Nation, and an example of another publication found in LLMC Digital, The History of South Africa, by George McCall Teal. Teal was formerly the keeper of the archives for Cape Colony, and at the time of writing was officially designated as the colonial historiographer. So as you can see from this example, the material extends beyond simply legal research material to a variety of topics in the social sciences and humanities, thus making it an area of great interest to CRL and its libraries. These materials will augment digital resources such as Latin American newspapers, colonial African and South Asian government publications, and other collections of strengths at the center. The selection of materials to be digitized will be guided by a joint Global Resources Law Steering Committee. At the date of this recording is currently being formed. Another partnership I would like to discuss is with the Technical Report Archive and Image Library, otherwise known as TRAIL. TRAIL is a Greater Western Library Alliance initiative led by the University of Arizona in collaboration with the Center for Research Libraries and other supporting agencies to identify, digitize, archive, and provide persistent and unrestricted access to federal technical reports issued generally prior to 1975. Technical reports are a means of communicating the progress of research in the fields of technology and science. They're used to communicate information for technical development throughout industry and throughout research institutions contributing to the continued development and growth of science and technology. These reports are highly detailed and contain valuable information serving specialized audiences of researchers. Examples of content within TRAIL include materials from the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission from 1947 to 1974. This area was ranked highest among priorities of the TRAIL participating libraries and chronicle research and development of nuclear weapons, radiation studies, and public education about radiation and nuclear energy. Subsets within this collection include the Civil Effects Test Operations, Lovelace Foundation for Medical Education and Research, Health and Safety Laboratory, and Radiation Instruments Branch. Another area includes the National Bureau of Standards Monograph Series, as you can see from this slide here. The mission of the National Bureau of Standards is to promote U.S. innovation and industrial competitiveness by advancing measurement science, standards, and technology, which enhance economic security and improve the quality of life. These reports included a wide variety of materials data, mathematical functions, measurements, standards, methods, and much more. Another area of content within TRAIL includes the U.S. Bureau of Mines Bulletin from 1910 to 1995, which was the U.S. Bureau of Mines was founded to promote safety in mining through research and training. Other content in progress includes content from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services reports, the Office of Saline Waters, United States Earthquakes from 1928 to 1962, and the Manhattan Engineering District Declassified Code, which documents the history of Oppenheimer's atomic project. As of March 2010, more than 1.9 million pages have been scanned in partnership with the University of Arizona, University of Michigan, particularly in partnership with their Google scanning and depositing of electronic resources in the Hathi Trust. The University of Washington, which has provided the interface for searching, the University of Hawaii at Manoa, which provided the interface on the pilot stage of TRAIL, and the University of North Texas, which has offered to provide the electronic archive of content. And many other organizations contributing in-kind, content, and other resources towards the project. The parameters of cooperation between CRL and TRAIL include participation through the Global Resources Network. TRAIL has been working on transitioning to the CRL Global Resources Network in order to establish a broader base of support for its operations. We've been working hard at establishing a governance structure and funding model that will continue to support TRAIL and allow its development and growth. Most large research libraries across the country have sizable collections of federally funded technical research reports, frequently 1 million or more reports ranging from several pages to several hundred pages. These collections, particularly the legacy collections, are often difficult to identify and locate. They're also very difficult for bibliographic control and the problems of long-term preservation and conservation of these collections. CRL invites its libraries to participate in the Trail program, and in the coming weeks we will be sending out more information about this partnership and inviting your participation. Finally, I would like to discuss the Electronic Thesis Online Service, a product of the British Library. The British Library has established Ethos, as it is known, as a replacement for its current thesis service. It aims to be a one-stop shop for UK theses and dissertations. Ethos harvests and holds e-theses, offers on-demand digitization, and provides a single web interface to the collections of contributing institutions. This is a cost recovery program being put forward by the British Library. Although they aim to represent all theses and dissertations across the United Kingdom, not all institutions are currently participating. Notably, Cambridge University, Oxford, and the University of Southampton have not yet joined Ethos. CRL's partnership with Ethos extends in two ways. First of all, CRL has modified its demand purchase policy towards UK theses and dissertations to accommodate the emerging digital copies available through Ethos. For all interlibrary loan requests for dissertations from the UK, CRL will first review whether the title is accessible through Ethos or can be digitized by them for free of charge. CRL will then notify the requesting institution of its availability via this venue. If Ethos requires a fee for digitization of the requested titles, CRL will place the order on behalf of the requesting institution and make payment for digitization. Once the content is digitized, CRL will again notify the institution of the availability of the resource. The current fulfillment time for digitized theses on demand is approximately 30 days. Once digitized, those theses are made accessible to all registered users instantaneously and free of charge. A second way of partnering with the Ethos program is through prioritization and selection of content. CRL has partnered with Ethos to select some 400 dissertations from UK institutions in the key areas of the Middle East, Islamic studies, or the Arab world. These titles were selected from the highest rated institutions supporting Middle East studies, with some important input from the Middle East Microform project. This partnership complements other activities already underway, such as JISC's Digital Islam initiative, which delivered over 950 digitized theses related to Islamic studies and funded by JISC and other partners to make them electronically accessible. CRL continues to work to make the access policies of the Ethos clear to its members. CRL is working with the British Library to make its policies more transparent to the CRL member institutions. For now, you may request dissertations from the Center through the same process you always have, through interlibrary loan and a request to acquire if not owned. For more information about our interlibrary loan and demand purchase programs, please visit our website. I hope that this discussion has provided you some awareness of the upcoming digitization programs and plans offered by the Center, and to give you a sense of how we are transitioning from our print collecting activities to expanding electronic access to critical source materials. For more information about our programs, visit our website at www.crl.edu. Thank you for your participation.